Okay, so I'm going to go through this Unit 2 study guide, kind of do a quick review. If it's too fast, play me in slow motion. Slow me down a little bit. I'm going to go kind of fast. All right, so we're going to solve first here, distribute. Move the variables, always move to the left, because you're going to have it there to graph. So I have 3x plus 4 greater than 22. Two-step equation from here. So we got the variables on one side. I'm going to subtract 4, divide by 3. So subtract 4. Right here, when I divide, if I divide by a negative, I flip the inequality. I'm not gonna. X is greater than 6. Put it on there. There's an extra number line there, I think, for you. Arrow going to the right. That was what the quest was over. Okay, second one, I'm not going to solve all the way through because it was like the quest. But the key on a problem like this first is to combine like terms. So I have -2 and -1. I have 8 and -8. So this is just -3x. Because the 8 and the -8 go away. So we always have to combine like terms first. Get your variables to the left, get your numbers to the right. Okay, let's get to the newer stuff. Just make sure we get a good review on this. Solve each inequality and graph its solution. Okay, so keywords right here. And means overlap, or means everything. I'm putting it all in there. So that's an and. So now all I have to do is solve both inequalities. So x is greater than or equal to -3. Solve here. X is less than 4. Okay, so we graph. What I do is put a -3 and a 4 right here because I'm going to be graphing both of those. So I'm greater than -3, less than 4. Both my -3 and 4 are going to be on my final answer. And so I'm looking for the area because it's and. I'm looking for the place where it overlaps. So I'm starting at -3, going to 4, not including 4. So an and most of the time is going to be between those two numbers, unless there's some different cases. Okay? Number 4, it doesn't say and or. That means it's and. So if you cover up one side and write it, and then cover up the other side and write it, you have two inequalities. Now, when you have a compound inequality that's written like that, you know that you're going to be doing the same steps when you solve. So you'll see it'll sound familiar. So I'm going to subtract 8 and divide by 2. Now, some of you, when you divide and get a negative answer, you think you need to flip the inequality. We didn't divide by a negative, only when you divide by a negative. So x is greater than -9. That's my first. So again, subtract 8, divide by 2. Going kind of fast. X is less than 2. So we'll go to our graph. Put -9 and 2. And so I'm going open circle to the right, open circle to the left, the overlap in the middle, but we can't include either of those. Okay, so again, that's typical of an and inequality. Okay, going to the or. A little bit harder inequality to solve this time. Be careful when you look at it, you see that you're going to be dividing. Yeah, technical difficulties, kids. There we go. Okay, so it's or, so we're talking about overlap. Then I just solve. So plus 10, plus 10. Right here, I make sure I pause. I'm dividing by -4, which means my inequality changes. Doesn't have anything to do with what you get over here. It's the fact that I divided by -4. -8 minus 8. Okay, so make your graph. Put a -9 there and a 3 there. Same answer is going to go down below. So I'm less than or equal to -9, and I am greater than or equal to 3 as my two graphs. This is an OR problem. If this was an AND problem, we'd have no solution. But since it's an OR problem, we just graph everything that we had there down on our graph below. So your final answer is both graphs. Okay? I'm going to skip over a couple of these to keep this video from going for too long. Now I'm going to show you on number 7 a little trick you can do if you think you're smart enough. Don't tell your teachers I told you this. We'll see if you watch this. If you have a compound inequality, you can solve it with 3 values here. So I'm just going to subtract 3 like I would anyway from all 3. And then I'll divide all 3 by 9. So some of you might want to do that. -10 less than v less than or equal to 9. And then just go right to the graph. Don't do that unless you're confident in what you're doing. Okay, so we have several more and ORs. I'm going to solve another OR since I only have one of those before. I'm going to go to number 8. So -8 minus 8 divided by 5. Should be getting really good at solving. So x is less than or equal to -5. X is greater than -2. Now be careful when you're graphing negatives. -5 is over here, -2 is over here. So less than or equal to -5, greater than -2. So we bring everything down here. Again, if this would have been an AND, it would have been no solution. It's OR, so we write everything that's on. Okay, so lots of just miscellaneous practice here. All right, so a couple problems writing inequality for the following. You need between 7 and 12 hours of sleep. Between, okay, and it doesn't say equal to, so I want to have 7 somewhere between 7 and 12. Well, when you have a shade in between, that's an AND. So I had 1 going this way and 1 going this way. So you could write it as a compound inequality right away. Make sure both arrows are going the same direction. Or you could write it as 2. X is greater than 7 and x is less than 12. Just like when you separate those two things out. Just a quick reminder, when you have one like this where it says which of the following are solutions, solve it first. Get it down into an inequality and graph it. Solve it first. Last one, I'm going to show you the word problems. Matt either spends less than 20 or more than 150. That's your hint. At least 25 in the bank. That's just a single one. At least 25. That means you could have 25, but you probably have more. The speed limit on a road is 35. Jenna got a ticket. Okay? If it's 35, she was going faster than 35. Rusty will pay no more than $4 for a haircut. Okay? He could pay $4, but that's the highest. So that's no more than is a less than or equal to. Okay, I'm not going to graph all those. So that's kind of a long video, but should give you a good review for the test.